exciting. I'll tell you what, it's a privilege to be in Batesville with the governor. I usually come up here and make my stops, visit whoever I need to see, and I'm kind of incognito, but it's been great today going around getting all this recognition, but Batesville deserves it. I'll tell you, we've got great economic development going on here in Batesville. We've already visited a couple of projects. I'm kind of partial and proud of the new Sonic and Slim Chickens that my brother-in-law and my sister and their family are building. So that wasn't one of our stops today, so I got to get a plug in there for it. But certainly appreciate y'all being here. It's my honor to introduce our Lieutenant Governor, Leslie Rutledge, which everybody knows. And they said, would you introduce Leslie Rutledge? And I said, sure, I can't mess that up. Everybody in Batesville knows her, you know. And then I thought, well, if I say something wrong, they'll know I was wrong, too. But it's been great serving in the Senate. The Lieutenant Governor presides over the Senate. And so I get to call her Madam President. Every time I stand up to get recognized or ask a question or anything like that, I get to say Madam President. But I'll tell you, I really came to love Leslie when she was our Attorney General. And the legislature deals a lot with the Attorney General's office. Before that, I had Justin McDaniel, and he disagreed with me on policy like nobody else could. But it was nice to have an ally in that office. And just to tell you a little bit about Leslie, I don't want to take too long, but during Trump's first term, thank you, I almost said reign. During his first term, he did something that lowered the insulin cost. And I've got a niece that's hard on insulin. She was born diabetic. And when he left office the first time, the insulin cost went right back up. And so I went to BLR, which is who helps us draft bills, and I said, find out what Trump did that brought the insulin prices down, and find out if there's any way we can do something in Arkansas. So I went to work on that, and I fought to get a bill passed to try to affect it. It was pretty much, Leslie had told me it was a worthless bill unless about 20 other states did the same thing because the federal authorities were going to trump us on it. And so anyway, we passed the bill. We had to repeal the bill, but in the meantime, we educated ourselves, and there was price fixing, antitrust laws being violated, a rebate scheme in the insulin market, and there was a Grassley report in the U.S. Senate that we uncovered. I forwarded a lot of this to our Attorney General, Leslie Rutledge. And man, the next thing I knew, there was a press release. She had sued those companies that were guilty of the antitrust. Insulin prices in Arkansas came down. And I really, really, really appreciate the fact that she took that bull by the horns. And she may be small in stature, but I'll tell you, she's a giant in my book. Here's Leslie Rutledge.
Well, thank you, Senator, for that kind introduction, and thank you, Representative Schultz. I don't know if he had to step out or not, but and thank you, Bart, for your kind words. But really, thank you, Governor, for recognizing my hometown as capital of the day. It's always fun to be in Batesville, but it's even more fun to show off great things to the governor and to go with her to places and to meet and visit with people that I grew up with, that are my family. And my husband and I, and Governor appreciates this, she and her husband had 3 kids. Well, Boyce and I only have one 6-year-old daughter, but you challenged by how to figure out what to do with your time. You're pulled this direction, that direction. And so we sat down one time and I said, Boyce, we can't say God and we can't say family, but I want you to list something that you know is really important to me. And without hesitating, Boyce said, your hometown. Because he knows that I always take Batesville and Independence County with me wherever I go. And I love that we have a governor who is fighting for places like Batesville, who comes here and goes out and sees, and we're going to go to UACCB later and talk about workforce education. She's made that a priority. I love that she's made it a priority to eliminate the grocery tax, and she did so, to continue lowering taxes for Arkansans, to give our teachers, and unfortunately, Governor, my mother retired after 34 years, but she would have loved to have had a $50,000 salary a year. You know, paying our teachers what they deserve so we can have more folks in education, making sure every child has a breakfast so they can start that day. That's what our governor is doing, keeping our streets safe, keeping biological males out of girls' sports. Our values, the values that I learned and was raised right here in Batesville, and I still come back all the time. I have a house here, my parents are here. I've told some folks, Governor, this is the most makeup I have worn in Independence County. So, some people may not recognize me because of that. But I'm proud to call Sarah Sanders our governor, but I'm more proud to call Sarah Sanders my friend. Governor Sarah Sanders. Somehow I bet if we dust off a couple of old prom pictures, we could find a few where maybe you're wearing a little bit of makeup. And it's not without trying. I've asked everybody that we have met so far today, somebody's got to have some really good, fun Leslie stories and old school pictures and yearbooks, but Batesville's keeping a tight lid. But it is an honor to be here and to get to be here with my friend and our great Lieutenant Governor. And I told her that today she had two roles. One, she is serving in her official capacity as the Lieutenant Governor, but also in a non-official role, she is our tourism director. And so she's been pointing out all the high points and helping really showcase some of the incredible things that are happening here in Batesville. And you're not short on great things that are taking place in this community. And I can tell you that she is so proud to be from here. You never question where she's from and what she's about. And so really proud that I have the opportunity to serve alongside her. And like she said, we don't just get to work together, we're also friends. And that makes a big difference. Also very proud of the fact that we're the only governor-lieutenant governor combo in the country that are both women. And so something where we are proud to shake things up in every way possible. And so a very good partner helping us run and change our state for the better. And certainly none of the great changes that are taking place in our state happen just on our side of government, but with great legislators that we have the ability and privilege to work alongside. Senator Payton, who said he was trying to go incognito. I don't know that you've ever been incognito. I told him earlier when I saw him, he didn't have his cowboy hat on. It almost made me uncomfortable because I only see him with a hat that just puts everybody at ease, but he does such a fabulous job representing this area. And you know, the thing I love about Senator Payton is that there may be some moments where he'll disagree with you, but you're going to know it. He's going to come in, he's going to sit down, you're going to have a thoughtful conversation. He asks good questions because he cares about the people he represents. He doesn't rubber stamp anything. He really fights for what he believes in, and we don't have enough people like that. And so I really appreciate his leadership and the great partnership that we have. And certainly Representative Schultz, I know this is kind of your area, but just a little bit on the edge. But you clearly represent this region of the state so well and with such conviction and such a strong sense of value. And so you guys are really outkicking your coverage in this area in terms of representation, just a quality, solid group that love this part of the state and have never forgotten where they're from and what really matters. And you can see that in the way that they act and in the way that they help govern our state. And so really appreciative for each one of them. I'm going to try to be kind of quick today. I know that people expect that if you have a politician, you're going to speak for a really long time. But one of the things I love about Capital for a Day is that I'm not the only speaker. In fact, I try to really focus on highlighting the rest of our team, because none of the great work we do happens without good partnership, not only with the legislature, but also by having the best team in the country in all of state government. And I'm proud of the fact that I can confidently claim that there is nobody that does a better job in the roles that the people to my left and my right that serve in any other state, anywhere in the country, as well as they do. And I think it's really important for people outside of the state capitol to know what people are doing, the different services they provide. We really want our communities and our capital for a day, not just to be photo ops, not just to be places where we stop in and spend a couple minutes, but we really want to be here so that we can see the great things that are happening in a certain community, what's working, what's not, how we can better serve you, because that's our job. Each one of us have pledged to be public servants. That's why I ran for office, that's why these guys ran for office, and that's why those of the people in my cabinet have chosen to serve, is because they want to see something better for our state. And that's what I believe that we've done a great job delivering over the course of the last 2.5 years. I think Arkansas is the best state in the country, and we have an amazing success story, and I love getting to tell it. But I think it's really important for people to understand who's actually making it happen. So often I get to be the face and the voice, but these are the folks that are doing the actual work. I tell people all the time, we can pass all of the best legislation you've ever seen, but if we don't implement it and execute it well, then it really doesn't matter. And these are the people who execute and implement great policy and are helping Arkansas be competitive with every other state in the country. I'm proud of the fact that we've been able to cut and reduce our state income tax by 20% in the last 2 years, by 1, 2, 3 tax cuts that we are passing on to the hardworking people of this state. And this is the team that's helped make it happen. I'm proud of the fact that we flipped education on its head, that we are not just satisfied with being mediocre. We want to be the best, and I know that we can be. And we know that by helping every single student have access to a quality education, that's going to move Arkansas up. It impacts literally every single thing we do, whether it's workforce development, economic development, successful business, quality communities, public safety. That is all impacted and driven by a good education. So we had to start there. And we've been able to do tremendous things and taking Arkansas to the very top, increasing teacher pay, opening up education freedom to every single student in the state. Those are exciting things for Arkansas. You know, one of the things I love to tell is that my dad used to always say that being governor is the best job in the world. From the time that I was a kid when he first entered public office and became governor around the age of 13, I was 23 when he finished, and even now into my 40s, my dad would tell you being governor of Arkansas is the best job in the world. He absolutely loved serving a state that he got to call home. And so right in the first couple weeks of becoming governor and serving, and I'm in the midst of that first legislative session, and we hadn't quite become best friends yet with some of our legislative members, and we're fighting through a couple of tough issues. I'm thinking, this is the best job in the world. So I pick up the phone, I call my dad looking for a little encouragement, a little fatherly advice, and I said, Dad, you know how you always tell me that this is the best job in the world? He's like, yeah. I said, how long does it take before that starts? My dad kind of laughed at me and he said, well, Sarah, to be honest with you, you haven't done anything yet. And I'm thinking, ouch. I was like, Dad, I called you to build me up, not to crush my spirit. He said, but let me explain. He said, at some point here in the next few months, you're going to be finished with this legislative session, you're going to be out of the Capitol, and you're going to be out at one of your kids' basketball games, of which I watched 11 here in Batesville last weekend. So in case you saw me, yes, that was me. I was here. Or you're going to be at the grocery store or a gas station or some other place where you don't expect it. And somebody's going to come up to you and tell you that because of the work that you're doing, their life is just a little bit better. That because of the work and the policies that you're implementing, the state is just a little bit better than when you started. He said, once you experience that, you'll understand why it's the best job in the world. And now it doesn't matter what community I go to, whether it's big or small, anywhere in the state of Arkansas, we're hearing stories about how people's lives are just a little bit better than when we started. And that's what each one of us is here for. We want our state to continue to get just a little bit better every day. We're committed to making that happen, and that's why a day like this is so important. One, I want to be able to tout our great successes, but I also want to hear directly from members of the community who are impacted most by the decisions that we're making. I tell people all the time, my kids are the perfect reminder of everything that's at stake. I know that every decision I make as governor will have a far bigger impact on my own kids than it ever will on me. And that's not something I take lightly. And I know that the decisions that we're making and the policies that we're changing and implementing will have a much bigger impact on you than they will on me. And that's not something that we want to ignore. And that's why we're here, and that's why I think it's really important for you to have the opportunity to hear from some of the members of our cabinet what they do, how they can help, and how we can best serve your community. We're proud of our record, and we love what we get the chance to do, but I know that we can always, each and every day, do it just a little bit better. And so with your help, we'll continue to take Arkansas to the very top. We'll continue to make Arkansas #1 in this country and make sure that every single Arkansan is proud to call this place home. And anybody who doesn't, we'll let them go somewhere else. But thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for your commitment to your community, your commitment to our state. And with that, I'm going to turn it over. I guess I'm going to start down here. They always make the guy in the uniform go last because, you know, when you can wear a uniform like this, you're kind of a big deal. And so they're pretty good closers. But I'm going to turn it back over here. Maybe the Lieutenant Governor. And the mayor is somewhere here. He's been with us. He's hiding out in the corner. Mayor, you got to pop up here and make yourself known. But we've spent all morning together. I know he's no stranger to this community because I think he's been mayor for the last 6 or 7 decades, right? I'm just giving him a hard time. He does a great job. And it's clear by just a couple businesses that we've had the chance to go to. One, everybody knows him, which matters in a community. If you know the mayor on a first name basis, that means he's showing up. He's no stranger to the community, which makes a big difference in his ability to get things done and to serve the people who have elected him. But also, you can see by how much this area and this town are growing that he has had great leadership and a huge impact on Batesville's success story. So thank you for being here and spending the whole day with us and letting us be in your community today. I'm going to turn it over to our Secretary of Agriculture, Wes Ward, who's doing an amazing job. So thank you all again for being here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you putting me on the spot like that. Thank you, Governor, for your remarks. And I would just echo maybe a little bit of the Governor's comments. Like it is so much a team effort, and we're just so proud of her leadership and her vision for the state of Arkansas, and always making improvements. I think for all of us as part of her cabinet, just so excited to be part of that team and really doing our best every single day to help the state of Arkansas and the people that we serve. I'm Wes Ward from the Department of Agriculture, and so obviously the agriculture side of our state's largest industry, and we're just so incredibly blessed with our agriculture industry in the state of Arkansas. From row crops, livestock, poultry, forestry, aquaculture, specialty crops, we do it all in the state of Arkansas, and Independence County really does a lot of it right here. And so you're just blessed with incredible diversity of agriculture here in this part of the state. So we're part of that, and if there's ever anything that we can do to help with any of you on a broad range of topics, we'd be happy to help. But I do just want to highlight a couple of things as the Governor talked about. It's not just showing up and doing your job; it's helping to solve problems. And really, under her leadership, we're tackling water and wastewater infrastructure, huge issue throughout the entire state of Arkansas. She's championed that, and we're updating the state water plan. Food insecurity, a big issue in the state of Arkansas, and so tackling that, tackling child nutrition and child hunger. Those are really big issues. And another one I'll mention, and we could go on and on about all the different topics that we're trying to address in the state of Arkansas and making improvements on, and that we are actually making improvements on. But the last one I'll mention, if you watch the news, any at all, you see the threat to the U.S. from our adversaries, and one of those is China. And so incredibly proud of the governor and her position, the first governor in the country to kick China off our farmland in Arkansas. I'll be around, please, if there's anything that I can do for you or the Department of Agriculture can do for you, please let's be part of that. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Shay Lewis. I'm the Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be back in Batesville. I was just here a couple of weeks ago with our commission meeting and seeing all the great things that are taking place across this town. And, I'm joined today with Catherine Andrews. She's the Director of the Office of Outdoor Recreation, and Marty Ryle, the Division of Heritage Director is back there as well. We've had the opportunity to tour several sites this morning and see the great things that are taking place here and be a part of the growth that has happened. I like to say that we're in the business of quality of life and resources in Arkansas, and we see both of those things taking place here, and our department's been a part of that through grants and other partnerships as well, especially on the recreation and outdoor recreation side of things. Our governor has really leaned into what we do as a state, how we promote ourselves, and how we elevate our experiences across the state of Arkansas, and Batesville is an excellent example of those things taking place, whether that's the investment in Riverfront Park or the community rec center that's here, the trails, that's even Jamestown Crag. And I don't know if any of the Christopher brothers are here, or I see Landon Downey's here as well, and the work that's going into outdoor recreation in this area is very, very valuable. Governor Sanders has wanted us to work really hard on that. She created the Natural State Initiative that's being led by our first gentleman, Brian Sanders, and just a way of breaking down barriers across agencies to make sure we're making improvements in that industry as we work to double the 2% tax collections that are related to the tourism industry, doubling that component of our economy, as well as the outdoor recreation economy across our states. And those are our goals, and that's what we're working on. So Batesville, thank you for being a part of that. Mayor, thank you for being a part and a partner in that. Judge is here as well. I'm not sure where I lost him as well. He's been a part of that as well. And thank you for being great partners in us working together to find those resources for you for success. Congratulations on the work today, and thank you for being here today. I'll turn it over to Secretary Renee Mallory of the Department of Health.
Good afternoon, y'all. First I want to recognize Casey Cochran is our Deputy Director of Programs there in Little Rock. But you all may not know, we have a local health unit in every county in the state. And the way we provide clinical services, we provide some environmental services, and the way we do that is we're unique as far as our agency because we have partnerships with the county to provide the services that we do. The county owns the building. They also do the janitorial work, the outside work, and then we staff that local health unit. So I do want to recognize, y'all, we have good health units all over the state, but the one that we visited this morning is exceptional. So I want to recognize, is Jose, are you here? Jose Balderas is our local health unit administrator. He's awesome, but we could not do that. I want to recognize Judge Jeffrey again. They could not say enough good things about Judge Jeffrey and his team this morning for the things that they offer us in the local health unit. That health unit, that building is a great building. He's providing paint for us to update. He's doing a lot of things. So thank you for that. The other place I visited this morning was the ambulance service here. That's another great. Y'all should be very proud of Vital Group here in town. Kathy, are you here? Okay, so there's Kathy is the CEO. She did our tour this morning. It's exceptional. I can't tell you, they not only have that ambulance service, but they have kind of diversified, and they do work on vehicles from all over the state. Fire trucks, ambulances, there were other things there, I don't even remember now, but they diversified to be able to provide the ambulance service things that they do. So we've not seen that anywhere across the state, so that's something to be very proud of. I'll end with this. We have a governor that we're blessed and lucky enough that is she's a mother, she's very interested in maternal health. Our maternal health numbers are not good in the state. She has made sure that we're going to do something about that. So please, if you know a pregnant woman, make sure they know about the importance of prenatal services, and that is one of the things that we offer at the local health unit. So if you know a mom that needs services, please send them our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Jim Hudson, Secretary of DFA. You know, the governor was talking about the great team, and I appreciate that. But you know, if it's a great team, it's only a great team because we have a great leader. And she gives us clarity every single day about what's important to her for the state of Arkansas. So, Governor, thank you for your leadership, and particularly in kind of the give her a hand again. So, particularly in the area of finance and budget, I'm always a little torn at these gatherings to kind of really, whether or not I'm just completely transparent with you as to what I do all day long. I'm your chief tax collector. Now, when I say that, I also understand you have to get Mike Hager's folks to actually escort me to the car. But here's the deal. I tell my team this all the time at DFA. First-year taxpayer. First-year taxpayer. You can be a bureaucrat after you're a taxpayer. And so we owe the citizens of the state of Arkansas a fair shake. Now, every single time that you interact with us, you're entitled to a great experience. And we think like a taxpayer. I'm head of DFA, but I kind of just let you in on something. I hate paying the government any money. I hate doing it, right? And so it's something that we have to do in some respects. We make sure that experience that you have is as little hassle as possible. That's one of those things they're working on at DFA. We do a lot of different things at DFA. I mean, if it's fun, we probably regulated our taxes. So it's everything from casinos to horse racing, medical marijuana, I mean, tobacco, alcohol, all of it falls at DFA, plus your cars and getting your driver's license as well. So my team has done an exceptional job in the past few weeks working on the Real ID initiative, and that's something the federal government kind of let us do, and we're trying to do a great job on that. I want to encourage you. Your office here, the Revenue Office in Batesville, is fantastic. I stopped by there this morning. They're working very hard. If you've not gotten your Real ID yet, please go get that taken care of as soon as you can. And I want to make you this commitment. Next time you show up there, you will have a hassle-free experience. You will have a great customer experience. Thank y'all for being here today.
Well, happy Thursday, y'all. I'm Christy Putnam. I'm the Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Human Services, and we are the largest of all the cabinets. We support and provide a lot of taxpayer-funded services. So under DHS, we have child welfare, which is foster care, adoption, child protection. We have all the public assistance programs. We were very blessed under the leadership of Governor Sanders to be able to implement summer EBT. So we have a new summer program because we are very concerned about food insecurity in our state. And we have developmental disability services. There's a very long list: behavioral health, substance abuse, mental health services. And so we, people, when they come to DHS, are most likely not in a great place in their life. Our job is to get them to a place where they're doing much, much better. And so we have a county office, at least one county office in each county. Independence County is unique in that we have both a county office and we have a processing center. And that processing center, I actually learned today, is right next door to Bad Boy Mowers. Didn't know that, so it's real easy to get from point A to point B this morning. But our processing center is all the online behind the scenes. When folks apply online, they actually are behind the scenes doing all the work to make sure that people get the benefits to which they are entitled and what they qualify for, what they need in their moment of need. So just again, want to say thank you to the governor. We've been very involved in the maternal health work. My partner in crime, you heard from Secretary Mallory, we're very concerned with making sure that healthy moms have healthy babies in our state, and so we've been working very hard at that. The last thing I'd like to say is I just want to acknowledge my fellow secretaries, the cabinet. It is not normal. I've been in other states and state government. It's not normal for cabinets to work together as well as our team does. We are part of the governor's team. We're also friends, and we try to get to yes for all of you. So if there's a problem and it's in my shop and Shay needs some help with his shop, we call each other up, and that is a unique partnership. It's a unique collaboration, and I'm just honored to be here. Thank you all so much for hosting us today.
Thank you, Christy. It's always a pleasure to be in Pioneer Nation. Shout out to the mayor, to the judge. You don't stay in a job 19 years, Mayor, unless you're doing something right. You're doing an awful lot right around here. But we also want to shout out to the delegation, the senator and representative. My name is Darrell Bassett. I'm the Secretary of Labor and Licensing. Chances are, if you have an occupation that requires a license, you are going to be in some way impacted by us. We license and we regulate the occupational licensing in our state government. I'm just so blessed to have a governor that has her main, as one of her main focuses, removing unnecessary barriers to entry in these occupations. We need to be about encouraging that. We just had a very good walkthrough at Bad Boy Motors, and they were talking about workforce development and how easy it has become. We want to continue to do that. The governor has us going from city to city and capital 4 days, and that's for a reason. The reason is she wants to move us from good to great. We don't move from good to great by making decisions in the marble halls in Little Rock. We move from good to great by getting out and having conversations with people who are at where the rubber meets the road. You help us move from good to great. And so that's what we're going to be about, listening to you, what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we can find ways to do it better. I'll be circulating around after we finish the whatever we're doing right now. And feel free to come up to me and let's talk about how we can move the Department of Labor and Licensing from good to great. Thank you.
Daryl, my name is Hugh McDonald, Secretary of Commerce. I am by far the oldest member of the cabinet, so I'll just say that right now. But this woman, our governor, pulled me out of retirement because I knew she was going to do some big changes in the state, and maybe one of the better decisions I've ever made in my career. But anyway, commerce. What's commerce do? Well, we do commerce. Including in commerce is the regulatory agencies of banking, securities, and insurance. But there's also waterways, navigable rivers in our state. You know, we have more navigable rivers in Arkansas by miles than 47 other states in the country. Something I didn't know. We have aeronautics. We do economic development, which I'll talk a little bit about that later. We do Arkansas Workforce Connections, with a lot of the federal workforce development programs, unemployment insurance, ADFA, Arkansas Development Finance Authority. So a lot of things we do, but it's all commerce business related. Economic development, we were here this morning, and LaCroix Precision Optics made a great announcement of about a $14 million capital investment in the community. Yeah. Anybody from the Optics here? They're still celebrating. 107 new employees that are going to grace this community, careers, great careers at that company. So we're really excited to be part of that. One of your chamber executive, Crystal Johnson. Crystal, raise your hand. She does great work for your community. Thank you, Crystal. You may have read in the paper, the one thing about economic development is, you know, you have to, you're always talking to people, talking to companies, you're selling your state, you're talking about how great the state is from a business perspective, workforce development, and we are on a roll. We really are on a roll, I feel. I've lived in the state 25 years and I've never seen so much economic development activity. And that's because of the policies that our governor and our legislature are leading and driving, and we're doing our best to implement it. And it really is amazing. You read in the paper these trips, these foreign trips that the governor goes on. This morning it was in the paper. We're going to Europe next week. France for the Paris Air Show, biggest air show in the world. Every state in the country goes there. But then we go on to Switzerland. But I don't want you to think that this is a cush. These are not easy trips. They are one meeting after the other, from breakfast to evening. So don't ever think that these are junkets. They are not junkets. It's hard work, and our governor can get into any office on the planet, and she is working hard for every one of us. Thank you.
Hey, I'm the Secretary of the Department of Public Safety and Director of State Police. Yuck it up back there. So, if I seem frazzled, I'm sorry. I was late getting here. We love doing Capital Day Out. It's always great to be with my so-called buddies. Having said that, this is home for me, so this was one that was really special to get to come back home. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I can't believe of all of them. I was late to this one. I promise it was out of my control. But so we have 5 different agencies that are actually civics that report to the Department of Public Safety. In addition to the state police, we have the Crime Lab, Arkansas Department of Emergency Management, ACIC, the Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, and others. I can stand here and talk to you all day about what those agencies do. I'm very proud of the men and women that occupy those agencies and the great work that they do. Couldn't be more proud of them. Just real quickly, I'll talk about a couple. Tomorrow we're having a groundbreaking for a new crime lab. Can't say enough how long overdue that is and what a big deal it is for the state of Arkansas. You never want to be a customer of the criminal justice system, but if you are, you deserve to have it done right. And they have been working in spite of terrible conditions. They've been doing amazing work, but we're finally getting into the 21st century and getting this new facility built. And it will actually help facilitate their work instead of being a detriment to their work. And it's a really big deal for us, so we're proud of them. Also, for state police, that's the agency I came up through. I'm very partial to that agency, of course. And I'm proud to tell you that, let me give you the bad news first. When I started this job in 2023, we had 490 troopers in the state of Arkansas. That's badge-wearing, gun-toting troopers. To put that in perspective, in the year 2000, when our dad left office, we had 608. So fast forward 23 years, we have 118 less troopers, and we've added a population of 200,000 to 300,000. So since this administration has come in, thanks to Governor Sanders, thanks to our local legislators that can't say enough good things about our senator, Representative Schultz. I understand Representative Pierce was not able to be here, but somewhere out there is Tandy, who is the better half of that deal anyway. So, but thanks to their support, we've been able to get those numbers back to where they should be. Since Governor Sanders took office and I started this position, we've added 155 troopers to the state of Arkansas. We're adding 70 more in September, an academy class that's starting. And the reason that's important to these communities, by mission and by statute, we are an assisting agency. So when our local partners call us and they need assistance that they don't have the resources for, that is our job to provide those resources. So it's a big deal to us. When you translate that into real world application, we've been able to stand up a full-time interstate criminal patrol team. Just 2 weeks ago, that unit made a traffic stop, recovered 18 pounds of fentanyl, that if you're familiar with the drug and the way that that particular batch was cut, it had 165,000 lethal doses in one drug load that was taken off the street. So it matters. When you hear numbers and you see revenue that's being put forward and put towards the agency, I promise you it matters. And public safety is a priority for us. We always believe that in order to achieve the great things that my peers represent in their agencies, you have to feel safe first. And it's our job to make our citizens feel safe and give them the support that they need to do that and provide the criminal justice support that we can. So at 2 o'clock, I'm having the honor to meet with a lot of our local partners. I see Sheriff Stevens, and I know the chief is here somewhere. We're meeting with all of our area sheriffs and chiefs at 2 o'clock, and it's always great to interact with them. Can't thank them enough for their partnership. So really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Since I did walk in late, I was just told by Secretary Corey that the governor asked for pictures of our lieutenant governor when she was in high school. If they can't help you out with that, I can. So just let me know. In fact, I know for a fact there's several people out here in this audience just from looking around that can help me with that. So it's great to be home. I appreciate you guys, and I'll turn it over to Secretary Corey.
Thanks. I thought we were friends, man. You're building a new building next door to mine, and you're going to sell me out like that. I'm Shane Corey. I'm the Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Energy and Environment. And I think you all know this, but our governor is a leader on so many different levels. She has access to so many different people
And I think one of the great things I get to do, and I'm entrusted with, is making sure that our energy and our environmental policies are aligned. And they're aligned in a way that's moving Arkansas forward. And we have the Division of Environmental Quality, the Oil and Gas Commission, Woodcock Petroleum and Gas Board, Geological Survey, now called the Office of State Geologists, Pollution Control and Ecology Commission. From an energy standpoint, we understand that we need to continue to utilize our conventional, our traditional energy resources. We can be better, we can be more effective, we can better utilize those resources, but we're not at a point where we can turn away from those resources. But we also need to be looking for ways to implement new renewable alternative energy resources, at least those that make sense. And that's one of the areas that we're working on. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest things on the energy side that we have going on in Arkansas is in South Arkansas, a lithium play that y'all might have read about. The Commission has approved 3 different units recently. Last week we approved a royalty on one of those units, and that's a huge step forward for our lithium industry. That's truly going to allow Arkansas to be a world-class leader. And the way that we produce lithium in Arkansas, it's cleaner, it's better than anywhere else in the world. So it was a key step to unleashing our critical energy resources in Arkansas. We're happy for that. From an environmental standpoint, we do understand that we are the natural state, and that we enjoy our lakes, our rivers, our outdoors, and that we need to make sure that we protect our clean air, our clean water, and our land resources. I'll tell you what, for the first time in the few short years I've been doing this, we now have an EPA administration at a federal level that understands the need for that. So they're rolling back some of those policies that were poor policy decisions that had been a tax on our farmers, our producers, our small businesses. And one of the things they released from EPA was their 100 top things they did in 100 days. If you looked at that, number 4 on that list was approving Arkansas's 303D list that deals with water quality. And that's something that the Biden administration wouldn't do, and I think it's because of our leader and Governor Sanders and her connections, we were able to do that, and we were number 4 on the list of EPA. So I have a couple people here with me. If you have questions, I have Bailey Taylor. She is our Chief Administrator of the Environment and DEQ Director. I also have Lauren Ballard, our Chief of Staff. If you have permitting questions, if you have regulatory questions, we're happy to answer those. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Jay Oliva. I'm honored to be your Secretary of Education. So if you think of anything from, I like to say from cradle to career, early childhood, K-12, post-secondary, that's kind of under our umbrella and under our purview. And I have the honor to work for Governor Sanders, who has made improving educational outcomes a priority in this state. So we all know that communities thrive when their schools thrive. And if we can make sure that students come to kindergarten ready to learn, they're going to be better to be sure they're meeting grade level expectations in 3rd or 4th grade, and then they're going to be able to be enrolled in different pathways that are going to meet their unique abilities, because we want to make sure that every student, when they graduate, is ready to be enlisted, enrolled, or employed. And so I'm honored to do that. With me today, I have the Secretary of Higher Education, or the Commissioner of Higher Education, Dr. Ken Worden, is around here as well. He's over here to the left. So if you have any questions around the wonderful work that we're doing, I can say I've been really fortunate to visit a lot of the schools here throughout this past school year. I saw Superintendent McDonald here earlier today. Y'all are doing some amazing work. You've got some of the best teachers I've ever seen in doing some of the greatest work in the classrooms, and they're making a big difference for their students. So it's really an honor to come here and be with you today.
My name is Chad Bridges. I'm the Secretary of the Arkansas Department of Military, also the Adjutant General of the Arkansas National Guard. Like Secretary McDonald, I was retired for a time, and I wanted to work for Governor Sanders because I believe her vision for the state, and like her, I believe making lives better is worth it. And wearing this uniform, I think, makes life better, and people in Batesville do it a lot. In fact, no community in the state of Arkansas has deployed an Arkansas National Guard unit more than the town of Batesville. So, and you've got great people that live in this community and serve in this community. One of them I want to recognize back there is Chris Milam. He's not only a loan officer, he's an officer in the Arkansas National Guard. He deployed back in 23, came back in December of 23, and we're so proud of him. And we thank First Community Bank for their support of him and his family. And he represents the best of Arkansas. We've had an armory in this community since 1971. I was fortunate to lead this company in service 2004 to 6 in combat in Iraq. Like Mr. Moore, his dad, I was a company commander here. And I saw the heroes and the Arkansans that are willing to serve their state and their nation at great sacrifice. And there's a memorial over there representing sacrifice of 4 members of that unit. And so I highlight them as we recently remembered those heroes back on Memorial Day. And so I just close by reminding you that we're going to be here. And just a few months ago, Governor Sanders approved us to come up to Cave City, right, Senator Payton and Representative Schultz. And so we sent soldiers up there. And so I make a commitment to you that our governor is committed to supporting you, and your National Guard is going to be there when your citizens need it. And it is a privilege and honor to serve you, and thank you for your support.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for being here and thank this incredible team who does such hard work. And I hope you'll take advantage of their presence. I also want to recognize there are quite a few people that are part of my staff in our office, and they're available to help with any questions or needs or feedback as well. You guys raise your hands. There's a ton of them back here. They're kind of all over the room. Feel free to grab any of them, and they will gladly help you with anything that we can while we're on the ground. And looking forward to a great rest of the afternoon here in Batesville. Already been a great day. We know it's going to continue to be. I know you guys are probably a little tired, a little hot, maybe even hungry. I will close now with a quick story from my son George, who is turning 10 on Sunday. And a few weeks ago, it was Bring Your Kid to Work Day, and George was going to go with me. He was the only one of our 3 that was coming. I was kind of walking him through the day while we were in the car, and George was asking what kind of activities they would be doing. I told him while I was in a meeting, all the kids of other staffers were going to play a couple games and that they could win prizes. George looks at me very seriously. He goes, "What kind of prizes?" I said, "Well, George, I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be great." And he said, "It better not be one of those lame win a lunch with the governor kind of things." So I'm really sorry to report that you guys got stuck with one of those lame lunch with the governor things. But hopefully it was a little more exciting for you than it would have been for my 10-year-old. But we are so grateful for your willingness to be here, the great things that you're doing in this community, and for helping us continue to make Arkansas the best state in the country to live, to work, and to raise a family. That happens because of great communities like this. So thanks for letting us be here today, and we'll be around for the next little bit to visit and help out with anything we can.